I'm very happy to agree with most of Omer's speech. The burden of proof proposition has today is to prove to us why 99.9 of the parents inside the EU or whatever, who are innocent, completely innocent, they are worthy of this kind of treatment. And this is what they haven't done in this debate so far. Okay, so let's have, first of all, we don't think it's going to be, in any likelihood, it's going to be effective. Why? 3 reasons. One, because when you have all the resources of all the vast workers, social workers, focusing all around the country, instead of the 0.1% who is more likely to do this neglectance and abusement, then you're missing the whole point, because you can't really have a thorough investigation and monitoring where it is most needed. This is number one. Number two, we don't think that parents are stupid. Let's say we have the second kind of the parents that he proposed. We don't think it's very likely that when a social worker is supervising me, then I will snap my baby. You know, just like patrol officers, so ex-criminals, when they get out of prison, they are always very nice next to patrol officers, which makes it a bit not effective. And why? Okay, the first point, you said, why do they abuse? They don't know what to do. It sounds like the best offer, I would say, it's maybe to sponsor some courses before they become parents, maybe encourage them to have more information in the hospital like you should, but why should you do it to innocent people? And then the second is said about people, we have information, and please notice, Mr. Chair or Madam Chair, we have no issues where you have credible intelligence that those parents are in some way likely to hurt their child, then we have no problems with monitoring. The debate is not about them. The last point here, which said that time is critical, we completely agree. The question of this debate is what to do when the time is so critical. And we say the status quo is just fine. 2 points. First one, why there's a great violation of the right of privacy. My second point, how this organization, new organization of social workers, is going to justify himself by actually taking away babies when it is not necessarily needed. Let's go on. Okay, so first of all, we're saying that every person in a democracy has this essential right to privacy. Okay, it's something we highly regard around Europe, around the Western world. We know that parents can bring up their kids anywhere they like. We know that, like Feldman likes to say, my home is my castle. I can do whatever I want in my house. Now, we don't see the difference with this pop-up visits. We don't see any difference. Instead, I would like to hear, why not put cameras inside everyone's home? Maybe this is the solution. Why do you still want police officer to have a warden, to have a search warrant in order to search inside the house? Because we think that effectively what you're doing here, it's quite the same. So, let's speak about how is the privacy going to be damaged. Because he said it's slightly inconvenience. Well, it's not. Okay, why not? Because what we're having here is that parents, in this crucial time of parenthood, of the first steps of growing up a baby, so they have this pop-up visit supervising about how good parents they are. So what we're going to say is actually, the first 2 months are going to become a total nightmare that will not let them be as good parents as they could have been, because they will feel like they're in a test, and tests like these cause a lot of pressure. But more than that, they couldn't be the parent they want to be, because they can't just do everything they want with their baby, like maybe to love it too much. Maybe that is being suspicious in the eyes of this evil social worker. So they can't be their actual selves. And this is the great harm that we're speaking about. We want them to enjoy parenthood. We know there are many different kinds of parenthood, and they're all legitimate. If you were brought up by a guy who cut down trees for a living, and like Al Bundy is a very tough guy, so maybe also bring you up to be a tough guy and a football player too. We think that's fine. If you're being brought up by some artsy guy from Oxford U, who wants you to be gay and wants you to paint, that's fine with us. We have no problem with it, and that's all legitimate. Now what we think that those guys will not be able, under the eyes of the big brother, they will not be able to bring up their children like they really want to. So, just to sum up this point, privacy is really needed, and it's being violated here in the most great way, and without justification to most people who haven't done a thing to deserve this kind of treatment. Any points? Omer.
We think even if the first few months they're not able to completely be themselves, it is obviously less important than protecting children from abuse, which you did not say is not true in this context.
And I said, if you have any information, you have many ways to find out if babies suffer abuse. You have the grandparents, you have the family, you have neighbors who may be here, you have prior intelligence, because because maybe we know that this guy has a criminal record because he has many violent anger attacks. So those guys, we have no issue with monitoring. You need to show me why you go into every house, every door in the United Kingdom, in France, and Italy to visit those parents. This is what you need to do. Second point, how this will perpetuate the need for this organization. What we're saying here, Madam Mr. Speaker, what is the chair? What we're saying here is that every organization likes to make himself justified. They want to see that they have the right to exist. What do we mean? We can see it in many, many armies where they keep demanding very, very big budgets because they keep telling that there's a great danger of war because they want to keep their jobs, because they want to keep their budgets, because they want to be very important. What we're saying here, we can say it, especially in government jobs, we have way too many standards of sometimes clerks who have no real importance. What we're saying here is that those social workers, and obviously in order to do it in the entire EU, you're going to have a vast organization here. This organization is going to really want to stay in charge. And what we're going to say, they're not evil human beings like Feldman. They won't just take a baby and throw him out of the house. What they will do, everywhere there's the gray area. Maybe it's someone from a minority, which I don't like the way he puts this weird music in the house. He will not be able to grow up the way the social worker wants him to grow. In those cases, we think it's highly probable that those social workers will actually take the babies away. Otherwise, because if they don't, so they don't have any really right to stay in their jobs doing such things. Now, what we're saying here is that even if it's a gray area, and maybe you can say, maybe you know, if it is suspicious and maybe it's not really very good parents, we still think it's better for a kid, and as long as it doesn't suffer neglectance or abusement, it's better for this kid than stay with those slightly inadequate parents rather than go to an orphanage where it's surely going to be hell. So what have I brought you today? I brought you first of all that you're violating the right for privacy here. Second of all, I showed that babies are going to be thrown out of the houses when it's not needed. Thank you very much.